Today, from Seattle, Washington, it's Week 10 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks taking on Ian Book and the New Orleans Saints.
Renamed in late 2020, there's a look at Lumen Field here in Seattle, Washington. This crowd, as we've come to expect in recent years, as loud as any in the NFL, and they get even louder when their Seahawks are introduced. We're ready for football as the Seahawks get set to do battle with the New Orleans Saints. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Seahawks team as they get ready here. They're halfway home, looking good, and a perfect 8-0.
And not much to complain about so far, is there? I'd have to say they're the best team in the NFL through the first half of the year.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Saints, they come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And last week they put together a 3-touchdown victory, and were never challenged in that game. Let's see if they have a little bit of a letdown here.
The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. And he takes this near the 25, just a little past there, call it the 26. And here come the Saints for their opening drive.
It's about Ian Book coming out of college as his brain, a very smart player. And he was snapped up in the 4th round in 2021 when many thought he would go much later, mainly on the strength of that brain. Good arm, accurate, tough, one of the top players in Notre Dame history in terms of wins as a quarterback.
The first carry now, this is Alvin Kamara. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know, you know better than I, he has the ability to take over a game. So what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Working out of the gun. Here's Book. And right away, he lost the football. But fortunately, the Saints were able to hold on to it, so they will indeed keep possession. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
The good news, they kept the ball. Bad news, it's 3rd and long. To throw his Book. And this is going to be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Now it's Lockett. Excellent work on the run back there, 33 yards. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. Seattle's first go on offense forthcoming, and under center, of course, Russell Wilson.
And he's certainly putting together an MVP-type season, leading the league in both passing yards and touchdown passes. There have not been too many defenses that have been able to stop him or even slow him down. So he's got his sights set on another big game right here.
Play action. Now Wilson. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And that nearly intercepted. Well, the free safety roaming into position almost had it, but it's second down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Wilson. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And that is caught. And he has now tied the record. Touchdown. Well, you've got to like that start on both sides of the football. You force the 3 and out, and then you score on your first drive.
Well, I know someone who doesn't like that start.
Well, yeah, the other side.
Yeah, they don't like that at all, right? This is not the way it's supposed to be. But what you just described, that's team football, all right? When you get a 3 and out, you're supposed to take advantage of it on the offensive side of the ball. You said, thank you very much for getting us the rock. Let's put it in the end zone, and they did exactly that.
Pete Carroll in that familiar hands-on knees pose. His guys will go for 2 here. Wilson going to throw for it. It's caught. And it's 8-0. So they go with a pass there on the 2-point try and able to convert it, Charles.
And a good job by the offense figuring out their 2-point play and using it well. It's interesting how people are using the strategy nowadays, though, isn't it?
It really is, and I don't know how much that particular play factored in, but with the PAT moving back in 15-16, that kind of changed things, didn't it?
It's really a part of everyone's strategy now. When I talk with coaches and when we sit with them, they always talk about they actually have 2-point periods in practice now, something they never really did before.
And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their second drive. 3-5 is where they sit on the year. A very uneven start is certainly not an ideal position to be in at the halfway point of the season. CD, do you see an avenue where they can still be a playoff team, or is that ship sailed?
Well, since you took me to the nautical side, I'm going to try and keep up here because to me, this ship is about ready to pull out of port. These next couple of games are absolute must-wins for them. Now, if they can win a couple, get to 5-5.
And it's out. He put it on the carpet. Oh, he put it on the carpet, a fumble. And the Seahawks have picked it up. Always costly to cough up that football. These defenders, they become so adept, though, at jarring it free.
Yeah, it's amazing that there aren't more fumbles caused because now, if you're an offensive player, you go through ball security drills every single day. It's really not out of line to think you should take the ball to bed with you and just hold on to it. But the bottom line is, no matter how much you try to protect it, these guys are pretty good at finding ways to knock it out.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Following the fumble recovery, it's Wilson. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And that is caught. And the record is his. It's a touchdown.
If you didn't know it, it won't surprise you to find out that this team leads the league in scoring. They've been a quick strike team all season long. There's another example. They did it again. This offensive coordinator, right now, you can write his ticket towards being a head coach. He's advanced in the ways of offense.
Before we get to the extra point, remember all touchdowns do have to be confirmed by the replay official. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How's the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. So now a two-point conversion attempt coming for Wilson and the Seahawks. They'll look to throw. And the conversion good. He's got it. So the lead swells to 16-0. I think we're sensing a trend here. 2 first-half touchdowns. After going for 2 after the first score, CD, I thought maybe they would kick the PAT here. No, they get 2 more.
No, they decided to really press the advantage because, remember, getting the 2 after the first score, you've already got the other team back on their heels if they're going to mount a comeback. But to go up 2 scores and 2 two-point conversions, you've really got them thinking on the other sideline.
Certainly not what they wanted there, so the football by rule comes out to the 40.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Now Book steps away. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
On 1st down, Book. He'll get this one underneath to Kamara. And he's got this down to the 35.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed 1st down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But fortunately, the Saints were able to hold on to it, so they will indeed keep possession.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
The fumble on 1st down. Now here's 2nd down. Book. Being chased out left. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 18.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier in this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he's got this one complete to Callaway. And they'll work this down to the 15 for a pickup of 4. On 2nd down, Kamara. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football. Let's get things settled.
Fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out. And he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. His 2nd rushing touchdown on the campaign and 4th overall. And the Saints get a bit closer.
Brandon, would you say they went from agony to elation in just a few quick seconds on that play?
Probably thought they were about to give it up in the red zone and then touchdown.
Yeah, there is absolutely no way that they drew it up and said this is the way it's supposed to be done. It just happened.
But the end will justify the means. No going for 2. They'll kick the point after. That's good, and that cuts it to 9 at 16-7. So this drive spans 7 plays, and it's finished off with a 5-yard touchdown run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he's going to be out of bounds. Here's the run back. Will leave him shy of the 20-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They're at the halfway point of the season, Charles. 8-0. What a great start. Clearly a Super Bowl contender, if not the outright favorite, through 2 months to win the whole thing.
Well, there aren't too many bad things you can say right now because this team is playing pretty well. They've had a couple of injuries. That could plague them down the stretch. But their intensity doesn't waver. I think the road to the Super Bowl is going to go through them in the playoffs. And if you're on their road, things could be bumpy for you.
On 2nd and 10, Wilson. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. They go play action now. Wilson. He lets it fly for Lockett. And this is caught. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Tyler Lockett doing it again with his 3rd touchdown here in the opening quarter. Here the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. Now, first quarter, and this lead is already getting into dangerous territory. They better be careful on the other sideline.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like a basketball game where one team is pressing and that team can't get the ball over half court. I mean, it is stealing it and scoring it, layups, the whole deal. That's what it feels like right now. They are all over them.
So now a 2-point conversion attempt coming for Wilson and the Seahawks. They'll try and throw for it. And he's got it. So they try for 2, successful. And that bumps their lead up even further. So they're able to throw it in for the 2-point conversion. Sometimes that can be a risky play, but they got it.
Yeah, you always have to be careful here because if you do get it intercepted, it's returned by the defense. That's 2 points for them, but he identified an open target and put it right on him.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Landon Wilson to return it. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior.
And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Carlos Dunlap, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Now a handoff. Here's Kamara. Oh, he shifts past him. And he'll take this one up to about the 23. Give him 6 on the run. They're going to be faced now with a 3rd and 12.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Book now. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. And now that brings up 4th down there, a loss of 6 yards on the sack.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. Here comes the Saints punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And that will hit and continue on out of bounds. Tyler Lockett trotting onto the field, getting set for this next drive. He's the star wide receiver, and he's doing his thing so far here into the second quarter.
And how you get distinguished as a star is each and every week performing to a high level no matter what they throw at you, because you're always wanting to take him out of the game if you're a defensive team. How do you press him, double him, triple him, all those things? But the best players show up each and every week. Solid games and some...
That's caught at the 25. All the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Russell Wilson now with 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon. And the Seahawks are able to widen their lead here in this first half. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts. All right, because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Wilson. And this is going to be caught. It's good. And that extends their lead by 2 more. And around the goal line, especially on 2-point tries, sometimes the QB's best friend is that big target, the tight end.
I love how you described it, because you know he's going to have some length and some catch radius, as well as a big body to keep people away from the football.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Now it's Wilson. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there now. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates, find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. Looking to throw again on second down. Look, they'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like right at the 40.
When you struggle on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Jordan Brooks on the tackle.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
From the shotgun, it's Book. That's complete over the middle to Callaway. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 36. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores. Pressure comes, he's taken down by the Seahawk defense. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Open man is the tight end, Troutman. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down. 9th play of the drive now on 3rd and a country mile. They'll They'll set up to throw. Book under pressure, and he'll go. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here comes the Saints punter now as he's on here to punt it away. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. And we will get another look at Seattle's offense. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
And got his man complete.
Keep going, keep running, man.
And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. DK Metcalf. Touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Seahawks are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
Pete Carroll in that familiar hands-on knees pose. His guys will go for two here. And this is going to be caught. Well, not sure about the need to go for two, but they get it and extend this lead out even further. So they elect to pass there on the two-point try. Sometimes could prove risky. There it worked out.
Yeah, and I love how you bring up that it can prove risky, because if you get it intercepted and they return it, that's 2 points for the defense, but not on that play.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. The return man, Wilson. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here comes Michael Thomas and the rest of the Saints offense. You better believe that he's well aware he has 0 catches right now, and they're losing, so he's probably a little hungry.
And you know the guys on defense are aware as well. And they're really excited that he has no catches, but they're also worried because a lot of times that's like the ticking time bomb. The longer you hold him down, when he finally explodes, look out.
Yeah, no catches, though, so far in this game. Off the play fake, here's Book. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
To throw again on second down. Book. No, bottled up fumble. It's out, it's loose. But fortunately, the Saints were able to hold on to it, so they will indeed keep possession. So possession still theirs, but now they face a third down. Again, this is Kamara, and he'll be stopped here well short of the first down. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Here comes the Saints punter now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Returnable for Lockett. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seahawks going to take over now late in this first half. And with great starting field position and 1 timeout in their pocket, they could still come away with points here in the late going. Good starting field position here for the Seahawks as they come up 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Wilson's throw caught here by Metcalf.
And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. DK Metcalf with touchdown number 23 here on the year. And the Seahawks are running away with this one.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
So now a 2-point conversion attempt coming for Wilson and the Seahawks. Now Wilson. And he's got it. They add on more. A little salt in the wound. 2-point conversion makes this lead even bigger. And, of course, on the 2-point try, had the option to run or pass. They pass it there, and it works.
Felt pretty straightforward, didn't it? An open receiver, ball's put on him, 2 points for them.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
Wilson now on the return. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. And the Saints going to go on offense one final time in this first half. And we'll see how they want to play this. Just a little over 20 seconds to go.
Final 24 seconds of the first half as they come up here 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
Picked off at the 25. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. And remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Now the Seahawks will bring the offense back onto the field, and they'll go for 2. After the interception, here's Wilson. And this is going to be caught. I'm not sure about the need to go for 2, but they get it and extend this lead out even further. And there's a quick momentum swing. INT return for a pick 6, and then the 2-point conversion good.
And even if you're keeping your wits about you, you're thinking to yourself, okay, extra point block team going into the game now. All of a sudden you're hearing defense. Everyone's scrambling for their helmets and throwing down their cups of water. That's a great position for them to be in, trying to score against that team. A little bit disjointed.
Now it's Wilson.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started
as they take over here with 11 seconds remaining. Kamara with a run on 1st down, but he's fortunate just to get back to the line of scrimmage there. No gain.
So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout as we send you cross-country to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. More from you two in a minute, but first, let's take a spin around the NFL and see what's going on here in week number 10. We'll start up at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, and it's the Rams who have the lead in the second quarter. 2 touchdown passes for Matthew Stafford. From there, we head over to the Windy City. Check on the Bears at home, Soldier Field. And they were winners in that game over the visiting Detroit Lions. Justin Fields leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. Lastly, we're off to the Rocky Mountains, Denver, Colorado. See what's happening with the Broncos. And this one going the visitors' way as the Cardinals have the lead in that one. DeAndre Hopkins a touchdown reception. In our game has been Russell Wilson, who was dynamic, as usual, in that first half. He's over 300 yards passing already. How high can he go? To find out, let's kick it back over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. Taking it about the 1. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. DK Metcalf for the Seattle offense about set to take over once again. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting them, that's where it really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep trying to put the pressure on, yet he finds ways downfield and finds openings. That's a really cool.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete.
Let's get that swagger, y'all.
Touchdown, Seahawks. Tyler Lockett, 74 yards. And this Seahawks offense continues to pour it on. And let's count them up now. 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdown receptions for him in this game.
And just one shy of the NFL record. What a great performance. Going up and catching the football, creating space, and finding the end zone. That's what it's all about.
Pete Carroll in that familiar hands-on knees pose. His guys will go for 2 here. It'll be Carson. They run for it. And
we could sit up here and dance around it a little bit. But going for 2 in this situation, somebody doesn't like someone else. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, what they couldn't see is you lean back in your chair and you went, I mean, yeah, that's not a good decision. They didn't get it, though.
Yeah, I don't think you can just say, well, my kicker's hurt in this spot. No, okay.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. The return man, Wilson. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds.
Puts it on the carpet, it's out, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. There are 2 words that we hear coaches say all of the time. One starts with a B, one starts with an S, ball security.
And they preach it. They have it up in meeting rooms, right? You see the signs. They talk about it all the time. But still, when you got defenders out there who are preaching, hey, we're going to take the ball away from you, no matter what position you play, you've got to take care of the rock.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And this will be caught by Metcalf for a Seahawk touchdown. DK Metcalf with another touchdown, number 24 on the year. And the fumble recovery leads to 6 points for the Seahawks.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. And he's got it. They add on more. A little salt in the wound. 2-point conversion makes this lead even bigger. is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
Brandon Wilson now from his end zone. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line.
And the Seahawks defense working their way back out onto the field. They recovered the fumble last time. 3 turnovers for them in this game. They've been, that word opportunistic comes to mind, right?
Exactly right. And you know guys on defense, they say the turnovers, the offensive guys call them turnovers. We call them takeaways. We go get them. And that's exactly what they've done in this game.
The former DB making sure you know their takeaways on the defensive
takeaways,
side.
Man.
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Again, it's Kamara. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
Tough day. Tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Here's Kamara trying to run for it. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
Here comes the Saints punter now. He's been terrific so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is taken around the 12. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory.
DK Metcalf for the Seattle offense about set to take over once again.
This defense, they wouldn't mind not seeing him again for a while. 3 trips to the end zone. How about that?
I think right now they would happily go to their general manager and say, is there any way you can get a trade for him? Bring him over to our team so we don't have to cover him anymore? Because he is really having a heck of a ball game, isn't he?
Boy, he is. I don't know that mid-game trade's going to happen, but good thought.
They go back to Carson here on 2nd. Carson, the 1st down and more.
Oh, it still won't go down.
And he's going to take this all the way down to the Saints 28. 59 yards rushing for him now at his first 2 carries in the ballgame.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. Now a quick slant as the throw's complete. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8.
2nd and 2.
Now Wilson. This is caught. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here. And now they're set up for the 1st and goal.
And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. Chris Carson with touchdown number 23 here on the year.
And the Seahawks get another 3rd quarter touchdown to add on to that lead.
And he was excellent on that drive. He deserved to be the one to get across the chalk.
Oh, I agree with you totally. A workhorse on the drive. And how about that last decisive run to punch it in?
So now a 2-point conversion attempt coming for Wilson and the Seahawks. Throwing is Wilson, and this is going to be caught. I'm not sure about the need to go for 2, but they get it and extend this lead out even further.
Well, this is something that Pete Carroll should be pretty well familiar with. Remember when he told Jim Harbaugh after losing a ball game and Harbaugh went for 2 late against him, hey, what's your deal? It's the same situation here. Now, I'd kick the extra point, but I am reminded that plenty of coaches feel like it's not their job to worry about the other team. It's their job to worry about their own team. You have to stop us.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
This taken in at the goal line. And he returns this to the 22.
Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Kamara there with a first down carry, but not much running room, and he takes it forward for only a couple. It's second down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
The passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
This is taken at the 23. They'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A terrific return, 30 yards all in all. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field.
DK Metcalf of the Seattle offense about set to take over once again.
And now he's inching closer to a 200-yard game. He's been so solid.
And he's really denting the pride of the guys playing defense, too, because there's certain barriers that you just don't want to give up. You never want to give up a 100-yard rusher, a 100-yard receiver. He's closing in on 200 yards. Wow, that's a really big game.
He'll take a shot for the end zone. And he finds Lockett in the end zone. Touchdown, Seattle. Tyler Lockett, 47 yards. And the Seahawks are running away with this one. And that touchdown reception is the 5th for him in this game, and that ties the NFL record.
And a record that's held up since 1950. This is another person that's tied it, but think about this. Bob Shaw said it in 1950. Kellen Winslow came along and tied it. And then, of course, Jerry Rice tied it as well. And finally, we're seeing it here one more time. Phenomenal.
Pete Carroll in that familiar hands-on knees pose. His guys will go for 2 here. And he's got it. They add on more. A little salt in the wound. 2-point conversion makes this lead even bigger.
I think this is just going to be a function of the times we live in now. Very similar to the bat flipping base. This is just rubbing it in. You got a big lead. Go ahead and take the extra point. One thing to keep in mind, though, karma's still out there, and sometimes it has a way of catching up with you.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
From his end zone, Wilson. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. The Saints again ready to go on offense.
These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And a missed tackle there as he pushes forward for a gain of 4.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. that's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
And his throw here's incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. On third down, he'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on third down.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. And it's taken in at the 9. And running with power here. And he's out of bounds, but not before a big pickup that time on what's going to wind up being the final play of the third quarter. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They'll start out on the ground with Carson. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 68 yards on the ground for him so far. Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2. They run again with Carson. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. I tell you, they didn't give it to him much through the first 3 quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
Man, not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, they want to ride him down the stretch. He should have fresh legs.
Paulson Adebo up to make the stop. So, CD, you look at this offense and what they've been able to do. 8-0, perfect through the first 2 months of the year. Second half of the season still to come. We get that. But what kind of a percentage chance do you think that they have of running the table?
Partner, I think it's hard to say because history would tell us that the chances aren't good at all. We've seen a lot of good teams get to this point, and then they have that one bad week and takes them out of the running. I'm going to say 25%, and I feel like I'm being generous with that number.
And he finds Lockett in the end zone. Touchdown, Seattle.
Tyler Lockett, 33 yards.
And the Seahawks add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week.
So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter.
I guess when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, I would just go ahead and take the extra point and move on, but apparently they've got something to prove. Almost feels like something was said this week, and they wanted to make sure that they laid it on them in this game.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
Wilson now on the return. And able to get this out to the 25. The New Orleans offense back out and ready to go. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this 4th quarter. On 1st and 10, Book, and his pass incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
To throw on 2nd and 10, Book. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately, had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
So danger averted for the moment, but now here's a 3rd and long.
He'll drop to throw. Net open. That's Byron Pringle complete. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. Saints punter now as he's on to kick it away. Taking it about the 16. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And out will come the offense as they take over. DK Metcalf for the Seattle offense about set to take over once again. So far, he has the trio of touchdowns. Obviously, it's been a pretty good game for him.
So if this were hockey, they'd be throwing their hats out on the ice for the hat trick, right? I'm not sure exactly what you do in the NFL except applaud and continue to hope you see a little bit more of this. What a tremendous game.
You want to start a new tradition? What can we throw on the field?
I don't know.
Throw your mic out there.
A lot of fans would like that. Cut his mic off.
3 touchdowns so far.
So, CD, you talk about this football team, some of the whispers and reports, the social media posts, they hint at a locker room that's splintered, badly splintered. There was talk earlier, some guys might walk away entirely, but that hasn't happened, however, at least to this point.
No, and sometimes some of that talk is just that, talk. I mean, guys often say, that's it, I'm out of here, and then they realize, I'm not ready to retire yet. What am I going to do now? And they're really ready to come back and dive back in. In fact,
it's caught inside the 25. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
So now a 2-point conversion attempt coming for Wilson and the Seahawks. Now it's Wilson. And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the 4th.
Personally, I'd rather see him kick the extra point there than to go for 2, but it almost feels like there's a story within the story here. I mean, this isn't college. You know, size of victory, that matters in those games. Here, all you have to do is win by 1 point. That's all that you need. Instead, they go for it, get 2. You got some pretty ticked off folks on the other sideline now.
Now it's Wilson.
And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans.
Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one. Book now to throw on first down.
Buying time to his left. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the first down.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And guys, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
And
for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Russell Wilson now will bring his guys up to go for 2. Here's Wilson to throw. And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the 4th. So they go with a pass, and it works there on the 2-point try. Charles, just in general, what are your thoughts passing versus running on 2-point conversion? Situational?
It is situational, and you have to know your team. What is your strength? Because so many people think you have to throw the ball in a 2-point conversion, but the stats will tell you that running it is about as proficient. So know your team and go to your strength.
The return man, Wilson. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Saints coming out now to take the field. Their mini 2-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But fortunately, the Saints were able to hold on to it, so they will indeed keep possession. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. Throwing on 2nd and long. Book. Now bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. And fortunately for him, he's able to get it back, but it will be a loss on the play. Fortunately for him, that ball stayed close so that he could recover it on his own.
And you know the prayers that were going through his head as the ball escaped from him? How happy was he at the end of it when he found the football again, able to retain possession?
Third and 20, and no surprise, the defense in the dime. Play action now, Book. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
So now a 2-point conversion attempt coming for Wilson and the Seahawks. And the Seahawks are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. And they turned the pick 6 into a pick 8 with that 2-point conversion.
I love how you upsell. That is outstanding right there. What a big-time play. Big switch in how this game was going, and then they capitalized a little bit on top.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. Wilson now on the return. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, They need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. And they work this well up. Across the 45. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. They'll look to throw here. On the move, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a long... to bring up second down. Now a timeout called for by the defense as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Another try after the first down sack. Book. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by DJ Reed. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Well, there's just about a minute left in this game, and they're still taking it into the end zone. And you know they could have taken a knee there, but they decided to play this one all the way out. And I think their philosophy is, we're going to give you everything we've got. If we just go ahead and take a knee now, we're actually showing you disrespect that way, like taking pity on you. They're not about to do that to their opponent.
The defense more than did its job. Now the offense is summoned onto the field as they'll go for 2. And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the 4th. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Now it's Wilson. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The New Orleans offense set to take over. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
From the 31, Book. And his throw is incomplete.
Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day. An incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
Here comes the Saints punter now as he's on here to punt it away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback.
DK Metcalf for the Seattle offense about set to take over once again.
What a game for him, Charles. 4 touchdowns. Heck, for a lot of guys, that's a good season number.
You're exactly right. And let's face it, we have to stand up and applaud this one, even though we're supposed to be neutral, because this doesn't just happen by accident. This isn't 4 times where the defense just falls down or breaks coverage. He's worked awfully hard, changing routes, changing areas, changing angles, and getting open for touchdowns.
We knew he'd be part of the game plan in a big way, and it has been in a and that's caught inside the 35. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, this is long since over, and some might see this as overkill, but remember, this is a team that puts on the hard hats, grabs the lunch pail, and tells everyone, we're going to give you a full 60 minutes. And that's exactly how they're playing this one out.
So now a two-point conversion attempt coming for Wilson and the Seahawks. Now it's Wilson, and this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the fourth. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. The return man, Wilson. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Out is the Saints on. Not going to go their way.
And this is where, in this situation for me, you just go ahead and run out the clock, shake hands, congratulations, and move on. Because now, you're not going to make up for what's happened during the game in this last sequence.
We'll see what they do here in this last sequence. On the check down, he finds Kamara. A good rally to the football keeps him to only a yard, and it's second down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
To throw again on second down. Boy, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Big offensive explosion help leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week, we'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points, allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Seahawks, the train just keeps rolling 9-0 now to start this campaign. And they'll have another home date next week as the Carolina Panthers come to town. Meanwhile, for the Saints, their season is on life support somewhat now at 3-6. And they'll try to turn it around next week as they head to Atlanta for a matchup with the Falcons. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.